You've reached Empress of Oracle, where we tune into all things the divine, and I'm so thrilled to have Sam the Illusionist here today with us. We are going to be talking about the situation in the Ukraine and then doing a guided imagery meditation in order to heal that together as the collective. I've heard something about like activating your collective immune system, and I know that we are kind of going into that fourth density social memory complex. So this could be almost a really good kind of experiment and activating that collective immune system. And Sam recently had a video where he talked about the situation in the Ukraine being connected to the Ark of the Covenant, and the Ark of the Covenant maybe not being the most positive polarized thing on our planet, but which is actually really interesting. Before I say this, I was interviewing Joyce Jenna the other day, and she said that there was the 222 portal just recently, and it was the divine masculines opening the portal, uniting some twin flames. But she said that what actually caused the portal to open was CERN, and CERN, the people behind it, they never had the intention on doing something positive. But I'm almost kind of wondering if there's a chance also that, maybe this Ark of the Covenant thing, they have this idea of doing something kind of negatively polarized. But just like CERN, maybe there'll be some times when, the underdog of the movie, like the bully gets him, and all of a sudden something happens serendipitously and everything turns out really well for him. So anyways, I'll shut up about that. And Sam, what are your thoughts on that from your channeled messages, like with the Ark of the Covenant and the real meaning behind what's going on in Ukraine right now?
What I received from my channeling is that like the Ark of the Covenant was before in Ethiopia, in Africa, I think, and it was taken to Ukraine, and it was activated by some beings. So it acts as a kind of device which attracts negative stuffs to it. So like war and stuff, and that's what they said. Like it attracts the negative kind of like synchronicities, like that kind of thing. And that's what I know. And I don't know if someone like, if we find it, we should like put it in a safe place, covered with like love light exposed water around it, so that it doesn't have any effect outside the environment. So yeah, that's what I know.
Cool. I wonder if your viewers could perhaps send some love light energy towards the Ark of the Covenant, because just in your mind's eye, as far as like, could we send some positive and almost neutralize kind of dark energy, perhaps just with because everything starts in the 5D or in the spiritual realm, like everything, COVID, all these things, it comes from the 5D to the 3D. Nothing comes from the 3D to the 3D.
Oh yeah, makes sense.
So my guides keep telling me, and I keep having these kind of visions of people in the Roman days. So sometimes people lately have been talking to me, and I've been really interested in generational curses. And I've seen people that I know actually like having an altercation with Romans and having like a past life. And then I see them in this life, certain things that kind of go wrong and whatnot. And I can also see something in their energy field. And it's really interesting because it always looks like a spear. And they kind of are alluding to that so much of like what's happening in the world as far as violence and whatnot actually come from trauma that we have from the Roman days. That was when it got really, really solidified as far as like that mindset. And so every person needs to heal their trauma, and then we'll heal the collective trauma. Something else that was really interesting is I came across two videos today, those pop-ups on my YouTube, and one was like talking about how I need to break a curse, like that somebody has kind of done black magic on me or whatever. I mean, like everybody has their views on that. And then another one came and it says your guys are, and you're kind of like, they're trying to like get to you and they're trying to communicate with you, but they can't because there's something blocking them. And they said that you have to do 3-6-9 breathing. So that's just something that I might suggest, and maybe we'll start our thing with that. But so you breathe like in 1, 2, or like 1, 2, 3, and then you hold to the count of 6, and then you breathe out through your mouth to the count of 9. Have you ever heard about 3-6-9 breathing?
Never tried it. It would be good to try it. Never done this
Yeah.
before.
Okay, so should we start with that, and then maybe I'll invoke some of these. I was going to invoke some flames, and then I was going to do kind of some NLP imagery, and then maybe we could just kind of connect our energy with whoever's on this call, and hopefully whoever in your circle, because I'm sure you've got some big players that, you know, because you're such a big player in this like cosmic game of life, whatever you want to call it, that we're playing. So I'm sure that you've got some viewers that probably have some amazing energy behind them that could kind of help us with this whole situation, help us to help, you know, other people that are kind of going through kind of a not so great situation right now in certain areas of the world.
Yeah, yeah.
Anything you wanted to add before we get started?
So yeah, I'm just blanking right now because I don't have anything like. I don't.
Sorry.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna close my eyes, and we can just do a few of those 3, 6, 9 breaths together.
Okay.
So Sam, you want to keep breathing like that, and I just wanted to start this visualization off, and a lot of this is from other YouTubers. This first one comes from Geraldine Oresco. I don't want to take credit for anything that's not mine. And you close your bottom 3 chakras, which are often really open, and there's cords and things stuck in them, and it brings in a lot of fear and kind of negative situations. And again, it kind of keeps us reverberating on those lower planes, lower chakras, based on survival and fear. So just go ahead and close your lowest chakra, your first chakra, close it up to the size of like a small coin. And then you want to still picture it spinning really fast and picture its red color. And you want to picture it closing from all the angles, like from front and back. And now your second chakra, your sacral chakra, orange color, spinning really fast and closing to the size of a small coin. From the front to the back, closing right up. And your solar plexus chakra, spinning really fast, closing, that yellow color, closing from the front and the back. And then you're going to open your heart chakra, nice and big, that green color. I like to picture it opening to the size of the whole world, like the atmosphere of the world. And once you do that, like I have a bit of asthma, so I'm always kind of gasping for air. But once you do that, it's supposed to really help with your breathing. And then your throat chakra, again, opening it up to the size of the world, that blue color. And opening up your third eye chakra, nice and big, to the size of the earth. And I'm just going to breathe normally, but if you can focus on taking 3, 6, 9 breathing, really helps and really brings in, it's almost like a DMT breathing, I find, after a while. And then what you're going to do is picture going down into the center of the earth, and then the heart chakra of the earth. It's like this giant beating green heart. I like to picture it as the shape of a heart, and it's going shoo, 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 shoo. So if you just picture yourself in the middle of that heart and then absorbing that green energy. And then just kind of picture yourself where you are, and then picture a golden, sparkling energy that's raining down on you, and picture that you're absorbing it. And it's good to infuse your food and water with that, especially if it's not 100% clean, or if you have any worries about like contamination or chemicals, especially like they put gluten, they sprinkle it into everything and it's kind of poisonous, and glyphosate or the Roundup. So you need to infuse your food and your water with this. It's like a golden light, and you can just picture it, and it has kind of a sound like Tinkerbell, like all these different tiny, tiny little bells. It sounds like if you can tune into that energy. So now you're breathing in the green and the gold energy. And then I just ask that the hand of God come down, or whatever you want to call God. Some people call it Allah, some people call it source creator, some people call it the infinite, the divine. It really doesn't matter what you call it, it's the same thing. And so many people fight each other over the name of it. And it's like a rose by any other rose. So just picture the hand of God is coming, and picture there's like almost like an egg shape around you that goes above your head and below your feet. And this hand of God goes around your field and creates like an electric fence of protection around you. And then it also, if you want to picture it going through your energy field up and down, and then basically this will keep anything. So negative entities love to take their octopus tentacles and stick it into your energy field. But with the hand of God protection and this electric fence, it cannot penetrate it, and it basically either cuts it off or like dissolves it or electrocutes it, so it can't come into your field at that time. So I'm imagining it's really powerful, as many people are watching this, that you know, it's really keeping us all protected. And I want to then invoke the angels of the horizontal plane, like Archangel Michael, who I call Uncle Mike, Raphael, Uriel, all of the angels of the horizontal plane. And I watched this in another YouTube video, so I don't know all of the names. And I just want to invoke their protection and their presence. Oh wow, I can really feel that energy coming in. And I also want to invoke the angels of the vertical plane. And the only one I know is Metatron, but the angels of the vertical plane, if they would come and assist us in this healing. And then I would like to just ask everybody, so you're going to see yourselves around the planet, like these little dots of light. I've heard some stuff from Alba Weinman when they're like polka dots of these light beings kind of all around the planet. And let's just kind of, it feels so isolating for us. So let's kind of just merge our energy and put like a blanket around the world right now. And just feeling that energy. And then there's a meditation in the NLP circles. It's called the circle of calm, or the circle of calm, or the column of calm, because you can picture a column around you, and you can picture it right now, or you can picture yourself inside the column, and then you can step into it. And basically, so let's actually picture ourselves inside this column in front of us, and imagine how we're feeling, and then almost like pour like potions or like jugs of like calm and peace, serenity, healing. Just pour in all of that into this kind of column and then see yourself inside of it, and see yourself calm, see yourself peaceful. Because if we all do this, we're bringing in more of that energy into the world, and hopefully neutralizing some of the dark energies, the polarized dark energies. So then once you feel that that's ready for you to go, you can step into that circle. Maybe you can stand up and step into it. You can continue to do this exercise as many times as you like. And then maybe once you're in there, just keep pouring in all of these, like, I like to think of it like an old-fashioned water jug that they used to take the baths with in the Roman baths, and pouring in like love and peace and happiness. And let's go ahead and just do that for everyone in the world. So if we could just have that intention, if you're not great at visualizing that, maybe you're great at adding that energy. So adding that energy to everybody, or visualizing your brothers and sisters, everybody being happy, safe, peaceful, calm. And you can go ahead and step out of that circle, and then we're going to do the same thing with the circle of excellence. So now picture something that you really want for yourself. Again, this positive polarized energy is going to neutralize some of that dark negative energy. And I can honestly feel like it's almost like I'm feeling people on this call in the future. It's really interesting. I can almost feel this energy kind of like, you know, becoming lighter. Actually, as we're doing that, I'm just going to ask that the angels help to remove any cords at the source. So you never want to cut cords, you always want to remove them. And I picture them like removing like weeds, and you can hear that sound when it crunches of the weeds as you're pulling them out. So first I want to get them to pull them out at the feet, and then into the greater central sun, across all time, dimension, space, and reality, infinite levels, high, wide, deep, and minuscule, for the highest good of everyone involved. Just continue until it's totally gone, till all the cords are gone. And at the end of each cord, there's a tiny little seed, a black seed that needs to come out of the body. So that's why you want to pull them out at the feet and out of at the cords, at the roots. And then let's picture it. Again, I'm going to ask the angel support to pull out of the crown chakra area. So you can pull the ones kind of from the bottom out the feet, and then the crown chakra, you're going to feel maybe some lightening in the crown chakra. Right now, I had a bit of a headache from my work day, and I'm kind of feeling a little bit of that energy, you know, dissolving and being pulled out. So I ask that the angels just continue that until the job is totally done. Into the greater central sun, where it can be transmuted for its highest good, across all time, dimension, space, and reality, infinite levels, high, wide, deep, and minuscule. You can really feel that energy becoming a lot lighter. And as you're doing this for yourself, you're doing this for your brothers and sisters. So just picture that you're doing that for your brothers and sisters, taking all of those cords out. And then the larger auric field that includes the higher chakras. I don't know too much about them, but the chakras 8 to, I believe, 13, something like that, and just rounding up all of those cords and then putting them into the greater central sun. And as you're doing that, picture the greater central sun. And also I find it helps if you picture it almost like a macrophage, like our divine immune system, and it almost like it's like enjoying eating these things, just like how the cells of your body, those white cells, they eat the nasty things, and it almost like enjoying it, and it's like kind of licking its lips. It reminds me of like The Mask, the movie. So kind of picture that. It's weird, but it really helps. So just putting the rest of those cords into the greater central sun, across all time, dimension, space, and reality, infinite levels, high, wide, deep, and minuscule. I can really feel it's like really cleared up the energy. So now picturing the circle of excellence. So now we've kind of freed up some of that energy space, and nature abhors nature abhors a void. So now we can bring in some good stuff. And as we're bringing in positive experiences, and we're not focusing on the news and the media and all that stuff that's just trying to distort us and tell us exactly what to believe, and telling us our daily news so that we know what to create a reality for the next days coming, we can create something that will basically override, just like how in our brains we have gray matter, and you can actually override, and you can overwrite it just like a disk in a computer, and you can tape it right over it. So picture what you want the most. So for me, I want like a little pool and next to an ocean with a little kind of cottage place, and I really want a puggle dog. And for some reason, when I think of that puggle dog, you know, licking my face, that's when the circle of excellence becomes like really real for me. So picture what it is. Maybe there's like a pet or an animal. For some reason, that like really brings it into fruition. So picture what you want. Picture yourself in that circle, in that column. And pouring in those potions, health, wealth, love, happiness, all those things that you want. Picture yourself, maybe running along the beach, enjoying your time with your family, however you want to picture it. And then once you've got that ready to go, then you can jump into the column and just really feel that. Try to bring up those emotions and of intensity of all the wonderful things that you're enjoying. Okay, so then the last thing, again, I didn't get too much into, visualizing or saying what we don't want, but now let's all visualize 100 years from now, what the world would look like if everything is in peace, if there's, no violence or weapons, what would our worlds look like, or just feel into that energy. So however you can visualize that. With me, I have a hard time seeing it, even though I'm a very visual person, but I can really feel that energy. So imagine what it would feel like. Maybe picture everybody is holding hands, or picture people from different ethnicities are talking and laughing and enjoying each other. However it is to you, picture what would that look like in 1,000 years, or 1,000, 100 years, 1,000 years, indefinitely into the future. Yeah, let's go into 1,000 years. And then we're going to go back in time and just kind of feel the energy. So we're going to go back to 900 years. And now let's picture like what would be happening in the world to make that peace in the world. And then we'll go back to 800 years. So how is everything feeling? What things are happening in the world? We'll go back to 700 years, just kind of feeling that energy. Like, how would that feel if there was peace on earth that entire time? And I know it sounds really cliche. It's really because I don't have other words to describe it, but what would it look like if everybody had, enough food, if everybody didn't live in felt safety all the time, didn't live in fear? What would it look like if everybody was totally equal, regardless of the way they look and the color of their skin? What would it feel like if there wasn't these power imbalances, that everybody had a relatively similar amount of power in the world and we worked together? So going back to 600 years, 500. See if you can see any events, because let's say like we're picturing this together, or let's say that two people are having a similar vision, then there's a good chance that, these things could come into fruition, especially because we're not really that, caught up on the outcome. It's not something we're like attached to the outcome of, because it's just like this thing that's 600 years in the future. But perhaps by doing this, we could start creating that, and then we'll get on to that timeline. So I believe, I don't know if we were at 500 years. I hope that's where we were. 400 years. 300. So just feeling that energy. 200. And then I really feel like that 100-year mark is really important. So just picture everything that's happening in the world at that 100 years. And I'm kind of seeing a lot of technology. So let's definitely want to picture that is going in a very peaceful and healthy manner for humans as far as like technology goes, because that could be a whole other story and we don't want to go down that rabbit hole. So just kind of like setting that intention that in 100 years we're living in peace, that we're not living in fear, that everybody has a relatively equal amount of wealth, power, and whatnot on this world, so that we can all kind of share and like, there's enough for everybody's need, not enough for everyone's greed. So how can we as a collective kind of, balance that power scale in order to balance, what we're all sharing on this world? And I've been talking for a really long time. Sam, is there anything that you wanted to add to the meditation before we kind of start closing it out?
Oh yeah, no, I don't. Right now, I don't have anything. Like, it's really good.
Thank you. All right, so maybe we'll just kind of come to the present reality. If you want to just slowly kind of open your eyes, and that felt really good. And you can continue to do this as much as you like. This is something you could put this video on repeat. You could, continue it. You could do it especially as you're falling asleep. Neville Goddard talks about getting into the alpha state, and as you're falling asleep and as you're waking up, you want to tune into those kind of energies you want to feel. They say the feeling is the secret, or the secret is the feeling. Get into, if you can't visualize it, get into that feeling. And when you're in alpha, you're like a super creator, and you're still kind of merging with your higher self. So hopefully if enough people do that, we can start bringing in some more positivity. Yeah.
Oh yeah, nice. Yeah, it was really good.
Thank you. I had like such a horrible headache before, and like my headache is gone. Like it's just like this, and it was really cool.
Oh, it's like meditation is really powerful. Like it helps to heal people and bring new possibilities. Meditation is like I just love it.
Thank you. Yeah, your energy is super powerful too. I think if I had have just done that myself, I probably would have gotten maybe a quarter of the effects. It reminds me of what Jesus said in the Bible. Like I wouldn't consider myself a Christian, but more like a new Christian, like a new kind of relationship with the whole, Anyways, so he said, when two or more come in my name. So really it just means like when two or more people visualize the same thing, I think it said like you can move mountains or like create miracles, which is really true.
Oh wow, really? That's really interesting.
Yeah, so is there anything else you wanted to add, or should we kind of close it up here?
Oh, I don't have like anything. Like it's really good. Like just to experience it, like really nice.
Thank you so much, Sam. Thank you for being here. Yeah, and thank you for tuning in. And yeah, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you so much as well, Kate, for inviting me. And it was like I feel really like refreshed with the meditation. Feels really good.
Thank you.